Hello everybody and welcome back to the PSS Podcast. This time we're joined by Anita Plant, the CEO of the Partially Sighted Society.
Hello everybody.
And also Gary Flack, the optometrist here at the Partially Sighted Society. Hi Gary.
Hello everybody, I'm Shaun.
My name's Shaun. I'm the Communications Officer here at the Partially Sighted Society. So we've just convened together again after quite a while. We thought we might just have a quick conversation about something that's come up more commonly recently, and we've talked more about it recently. It's people coming in with secondary symptoms such as dizziness and issues with balance and walking and such like that. So, Gary, could you just tell us, is this an eye thing? Or?
No, it's not. No, it's, as we said, it's sometimes a secondary thing. So, in fact, someone comes to us with an eye problem, can't see very well, and as part of the questions come up with dizziness or vertigo. And in fact, it is actually a three-part element. So it's kind of the eyes, the ears, and what we call proprioceptive. It's a really posh word, just means the other senses. So things like touch, smell, hearing, taste, those are actually all proprioceptive. Main ones are actually where, things like when your feet, you can feel your toes touching the floor but not your heel. So that's kind of what we call proprioceptive. So all of those actually work hand in hand. And if you don't work hand in hand, then sometimes that can cause a problem. So
if one thing goes out of whack, then it holds the whole system?
Yeah, pretty much. So you then get the secondary symptoms, if you like, of the dizziness or the vertigo symptoms.
I suppose one of the ways you can explain it is like in a really simple way. If you think about when you stand up, what happens when you stand up? So when you stand up, the muscles in your joints and in your legs immediately begin sending messages to your brain. Tiny sensors in your feet tell it how firmly you're standing on the ground. Your ankles, knees and hips report the position of every joint while your muscles constantly adjust to keep you upright. At exactly the same time, your inner ears come to life. And so whenever you move your head, even if it's by a few millimetres, tiny fluid-filled canals inside your inner ear detect that movement. And then your eyes, at the same time as all that's happening, your eyes are also sending information about your surrounding, what's in front of me, what obstacles are there, they're judging distances and detecting movement. And then your brain is putting all of that together, information together instantly to compute it and keep you on your feet, walking straight and nice and stable.
And it's not just a one-off, so your eyes move in what we call saccades, which is just jerky movements. And if the world is moving, then that throws things out because you suddenly think that you're actually moving when you're not. And of course, if one ear is saying, I can't hear, and the other one is, then again, that's where it all goes a bit out of shape. So yeah, it's kind of three parts to it. And it's actually called the Vestibulo-Ocular Reflex.
Right.
I got it VOR from kind of now on because I can't say it.
VOR, right. Vestibulo-Ocular Reflex. VOR.
So it's kind of these little inner canals that are inside your ears that are at opposite directions. So these small movements actually are triggered, and as Anita said, if you turn your head to the left, the eyes turn to the right to try and keep things stable. If in fact that doesn't happen, or in fact when you turn your eyes, let's say you've got macular degeneration and you can't see centrally, then you're going to have to hunt a little bit. All of a sudden the eyes are jerking left and right to try and fixate, but the ears say you're still turning left. And of course that's when it goes out of wrong, because your actually body says I'm not moving at all.
Right, so there's a miscalculation there.
Miscalculation, yeah.
So if your eyes turn left and your ears are saying you turn left,
So if your head turns left, your ears are saying you're left, but it tells you to move your eyes right.
Yeah.
To keep everything stable.
People
at home.
People at home. Don't listen to this episode on a bus. You might get kicked off a bus. So
if you turn your head to the left, your eyes are automatically told to turn to the right.
Aren't they?
Yes.
If that doesn't happen, if you turn to the left, then you move your eyes to the left, then the world moves, but your body is actually, my toes are telling me at the moment they're on the floor, my heels up, and I'm leant slightly one side to the left. Now you don't actually know that, you're not consciously thinking it, but that all of those messages are getting sent to the brain. So the body's saying, I'm stationary. your head says, but I've just moved left, and your eye said, but the world's going to the right. And that's where it all goes a little bit crazy. The body's kind of reaction to that is, in essence, to kind of make you faint, I suppose, in a way. It's to say, lay down, it'll all go away.
Yes.
And of course, that doesn't go away, does it?
No. It's just trying to remove all the stimulus, isn't it?
It is indeed, yeah. So I said those inner ear parts are as important as the eyes, but also your proprioceptive. And this is where we call things like dizziness and vertigo are actually secondary to when somebody comes to see us.
Yeah.
But I suppose if somebody's experiencing vertigo, and I've had it a few times over the, in my life, it's horrible. It is really horrible, and that vertigo kind of almost is more debilitating than any of the other things that are happening.
Yeah. Even just to add to that a little bit, which I've just thought about, is that if we hear a sound, say, off to the left, we turn our eyes to the left, those two parts, the hearing and the eyes moving to whatever it was, actually helps the brain centre itself again.
Right.
Which is quite amazing, isn't it?
That is amazing. Yeah.
So actually someone with a hearing problem,
yes,
where mates maybe in one ear more than the other, the ears say, oh, it's on your left, but actually it's not, it's on your right. Well, you say it's on your right, but actually it's on your left.
Yes.
Because then you turn your head and everything again goes a bit out of kilter.
Yeah.
Well,
it's just not working as described. It's a survival mechanism in a way, and it's not working right. So
it is, yeah. And it also stops us from falling over, which is ideal.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. There's another type of reflex.
Yeah, there is actually. It's one that's not known as much about, and it's called cervico-ocular reflex. So we've talked about trying to keep your eyes nice and stable, if you like. So you turn your head to the left, we'll use that example again. Turn your head to the left, your eyes move to the right to actually hold things in place. So that's actually ears, eyes, but also your neck actually has sensors in them as well. So what that does, if you turn your body, so we're moving, I'm going to turn my body to the left, everybody's doing it at home, if I keep my head straight, then my body knows that I've turned the system knows that I've turned to the left-hand side, and actually my head is going to stay stationary, and my eyes will stay stationary. Now, if you turn your body to the left, but your eyes move to the left, then obviously again that all goes out of shape, because your ears are telling you your head's still, your body's moving.
Right, yeah.
Now that's less important, but it does come to fruition with things like whiplash injuries, where there's neck issues, because the neck actually has lots and lots of nerves in it that, again, are proprioceptive, that tell you what the body's doing. And again, if those are out of kilter, then that's when it all goes a bit crazy, really. Yeah.
Right, so what are some eye conditions that can actually trigger these systems to go out of whack?
So eye conditions, so there's quite a few of them really. I mean, glaucoma is one of them, because with glaucoma you lose the peripheral part of your vision, and that's our system for saying where are we in space, where our central vision is the what is it. So if we've lost our where is it, we've already lost part of that. Where am I looking, what am I moving? It also gives you that balance. So as I'm kind of looking here, there's quite a few chairs in front. They're all kind of upright. I'm not looking at them, but my brain is saying I'm seeing them, so I know that they're upright. So if I tilt my head rather than turning it, those chairs are now out of true. And again, if my ears were saying I'm still stood up straight, but those chairs are actually out of kilter, that's when you get the dizziness and the vertigo symptoms.
And miscalculations.
So again, it's all together rather than just kind of it's an eye problem, it's a neck problem, it's an ear problem. They kind of all kind of work together. We do see quite a lot of people with problems where it's been caused, where things. Then again, it doesn't always come out straight away, but things like accidents in the past where we've had whiplash. And that's where there's been neck issues, and obviously there can be problems there. Concussion, that can manifest itself through 20 years after you've actually had a concussion. So people that are doing like American football, rugby, in fact the ladies rugby team, I recently understand they use little gum guards that watch out for hits, and it actually measures if there's a high hit. They actually have to go for concussion checking. So they use mouth guards. Obviously, if you get hit, your jaw goes, and that actually actually tells where
Well,
it
it's
is.
registered 12 Gs all of a sudden. Then,
Absolutely, yeah. So certainly neck injuries can cause it, and the long-term ones. Some ear infections can cause it, obviously, because again, you've lost one of the
Well, you're blocking the channels again.
one of the channels again, yeah. And I'm afraid menopause.
Don't look at me.
Look at Shaun. But menopause does, because the hormone levels change. And in fact, one of the big things is that in the inner ear, the reason that we hear is we actually have sodium salts in the form of liquid, and we also have potassium and magnesium as well. And the potential between them, and it's a bit like a battery, those actually tell us, again, when they move, what's happening.
Right.
And with menopause, quite often things like the magnesium and potassium actually go a little bit out of shape, and therefore that's where
Okay, I'm going to head for my magnesium tablets.
So we really recently read
Given
about
my
that
age
one.
way here now.
Yeah, this is why things like potassium, magnesium are actually really useful for menopause.
Yeah.
It also helps with vertigo symptoms as well.
So can I just ask as well, so we've also seen quite a few people in our low vision clinic who've had the actual vision is okay, the acuity is okay, but they've got symptoms such as visual snow, they've got double vision, they've got this, very, very discombobulating, it's a big word for Friday, but, symptoms, the walls are breathing and really, really horrible things going on, but yet the eyes are healthy, and it always has us scratching our heads a bit and going back into the history about have you had any falls?
Any falls. Certainly visual snow syndrome, those people tend to have also the world's in motion most of the time anyway, so if you kind of wave your hand in front of your eyes, you'll see several fingers. Now they actually get that whether it's moving or not, which you can imagine, again, your eyes are seeing something that you think is moving but it's not moving. They also tend to have things like tinnitus as well, so again,
so that's ears
misinformation from the ear. We talked about wall breathing and things like that, which are quite a classic with them as well. So again, they're kind of secondary to them, and sometimes we can help just dampen down. I can't help obviously with the hearing side of it, but I can help sort of sometimes dampen down the visual effects of it. So certainly we do come quite a lot. So strokes is another one. I mean, strokes not an eye thing, obviously it's a brain thing. It's about eye conditions, but strokes, if it's affected the vision, you've lost half of one side of your vision. Particularly with left-sided strokes, you're just not aware of it being there. So if you just suddenly, if you're sat there thinking about it now, that you've just suddenly lost the whole one side of life, then that throws things out, doesn't it? You tend to be more right-sided on that occasion. So they tend to suffer a little bit more with it as well. The other thing is posture as well. So with glaucoma, AMD even, you need to sit up straight.
I know, you say that posture word.
Posture, so for instance with an eye condition, if you've got fairly advanced glaucoma, you can't see peripherally, so the floor's not there. So what you would tend to do is to dip your head down. And once you dip your head down, you tend to lean forward. And of course then your ears are thinking you're leaning forward, and in fact you're not. Or you are, but you're not actually wanting to. So just posture sometimes, and that does make a big difference as well.
Or the damage of a bad posture as well over time. Everything throws it out of whack, doesn't it?
Okay, so now this is going to come to the other question. Tech neck.
Text neck, definitely.
Everyone these days is bent over their mobile phones, how about,
well, I'm even sat here looking down at my notes, so, it's not just text neck, but this is one of the problems that a lot of people are now using phones or even looking at laptops with their heads down. I think it was estimated a 40-degree angle of your head is the same as actually having a 4-year-old child on your shoulders.
Wow.
So if you do that for 8 hours a day,
isn't it?
And then
you 10 minutes, wouldn't it?
And then you go home and then you're sitting there looking at your phone or your tablet and doing the whole thing again.
So text neck doesn't help at all. That leads into other things like the cervico-ocular reflex as well. And in fact, sometimes when we have people that come to see us with the kind of visual elements of it, the vertigo, quite often we can refer people into things like the chiropractor or osteopath to actually have a look at the neck and see if there's any issues there. In fact, we've had a couple where they've found quite a few problems in the upper area of the neck as well. done some treatment, and that's actually helped relieve some of the symptoms. Because one of the things is that when you have a neck issue, you don't move your head. If you're not moving your head and you're turning your body, then again you're more likely to have
It's just not natural
vertigo.
movement, is it? Yeah.
So if you can free that, then that does help. And again, quite often with people with vertigo, it's not a nice thing, as Anita said, but actually you then tend to hold quite rigid.
You do,
So you don't move your head, which actually, your body says, well, I'm falling forward, but your head says I'm not. But your ears are telling you are as well. So again, it all gets worse. So there are some there are eye gyms that you can do where you can actually do some exercise to help keep the eyes kind of moving rather than static. And there are also some vestibular exercises that you can do, which would be more of a, I'm not going to give any recommendations, but things like osteopath would tell you to do, like pressing your arm up against the wall, etc., and head turns and things like that. So there are kind of stuff that you can do with that as well. We do also sometimes use prisms to help in glasses, and what prisms do, they're actually little wedges of lenses. They're a little bit like having a crutch, and if your eyes are not turning in properly, then we use them to help turn them in. But actually with some people, it's more a case of helping the world turn to one side to stop the world from moving. So we actually use what are called Pelly prisms or yoke prisms to help out. Also coloured filters sometimes. So if we're getting lots of misinformation coming into the brain, which is making kind of a confusion for that person, and sometimes filters where we use particular colours that just help to sort of dampen down a lot of the symptoms that you have, and that seems to help. But as I said, chiropractors are really quite useful. We've found we've used them a few times, haven't we?
Yeah.
Well, that's absolutely brilliant, yeah. I think leading on from the treatment is a good way for us to kind of wrap up there, I think, for this one. But if anybody does have any issues, especially with their balance and their having dizzy spells or anything like that, and they do have a sight loss issue as well, then feel free to contact us. We can definitely triage that, I guess, and find out what's the best place for you, whether it's a sight test and assessment, or if we think that possibly it might be somewhere else where we can get you. But call us Monday to Friday. It's 9:30am till 4pm on 01 302 965 195. That's 01 302 965 195.
That's for sure.
And that's for me. That's for Marcus. Well, that's it for this time. So thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
I'll see you on the next one.
All right.
Okay, thank you.